And Lateline has uncovered evidence of Fijian asylum seekers being preyed upon by unscrupulous operators, promising them protection visas in return for thousands of dollars. The situation came to light with the death of Josefa Rauluni, the Fijian man who jumped to his death at Villawood Detention Centre several weeks ago. His family say they paid a $2,000 fee to a man posing as a religious pastor within the Fijian community. Refugee advocates say increasing numbers of Fijians are seeking asylum in Australia to escape persecution at the hands of the Fijian military government. And they say these people are the most vulnerable to the scam artists. Michael Edwards has this report. Alison McClymont was the producer.
When Josefa Rauluni took his own life by jumping off a roof at Villawood Detention Centre last month, his death sparked a protest by detainees. The 36-year-old Fijian had run out of options in Australia. At the time of his death, he was claiming political asylum and had told immigration authorities he feared persecution in Fiji at the hands of the military. Before his detention, Josefa Rauluni had moved to the New South Wales town of Griffith, which has a large community of Fijians and Pacific Islanders who work in the area's agricultural industries. Josefa Rauluni had been trying to make a new life for himself here in Griffith. He'd been working at a local chicken factory, just like many other Fijians in the area. But that all came to an end when his bridging visa expired and he failed to renew it. He was then picked up in a sweep by immigration authorities and sent to Villawood.
Eddie, I have a cuppa here for you.
Josefa Rauluni arrived here 2 years ago to join his family, among them his brother Tavita Rauluni and his nephew Eddie, who was also picked up and sent to Villawood. With their relatives in Villawood and facing deportation, the Rauluni family was frantic. Then out of the blue, they got a phone call offering help.
I was so desperate. I was gonna look for a lawyer when all of a sudden he rang me. And he said that I put the money in, he'll help them come out of Villawood.
The man, who claimed to be a church pastor, met Josefa and Eddie in Villawood and told them that for $2,000 he could get them both out immediately.
We have the hope on him because the way he says to us is like, I'm going to take you out straight away. That's even the first. When we went in, he just said, I'm going to take you out straight away. You fill up this form. I was going to take it up straight to the main office. As soon as I come back, I'll take you out as soon as possible.
And then what happened?
But it didn't happen.
The Raulunis say eventually he upped his price.
Once he got the money, the $2,000, he rang me again and said, see, you've got to give me, there's two of them. It's got to be $5,000 each. 5,000 each. And then I asked him, what is this for? Is it for their citizenship papers? And he said, no, it's for a bridging visa. And that's when I knew something's going on.
Eddie Rauluni was in Villawood with his uncle Josefa, but he was released on compassionate grounds after his uncle's death.
Started demanding more money, so you need to put $5,000 for each because there's two of us there. So they put up to 10,000. So when we start contacting him, he's like, doesn't want to answer his phone. Doesn't even come and visit us anymore.
The man is well known within the Fijian community. Lateline caught up with him today as he was entering Villawood.
What I do is I lift my hand up because there's too many people being taken for granted by solicitors, barristers. There's too many sharks out there. They're taking money from our people. Thousands of dollars being taken from people and nothing done with the visa. Nothing done for the visa. I take people to the immigration department and get the visa extended alive. You know, visa gets extended for 2 months, 3 months and things like that. That's all.
Known as Jalame Nale or Joe Naliva, he told us that he set up an immigration service in July this year and has helped more than 200 Fijians stay in Australia. He says he never asked for any money from the Raulunis either. He says they offered him $2,000 to help with expenses.
Yeah, they sent me $2,000 and I got $2,000 to give it back to them. They're coming up this week.
Okay, so they're returning that.
Yeah, returning that.
Right.
And this cousin, I'm going to give the money to this cousin this week, probably this afternoon.
Jalame Nale says he's helped more than 200 Fijians stay in Australia. He also rejects the allegation that he's posed as a minister of the church. Jalame Nale does admit to describing himself as an immigration agent, but he says he's now stopped. Legitimate or not, Jalame Nale's business appears to be catering to a growing demand for immigration services among Fijians. The Fijian democracy movement is growing in Australia, and its members say there are increasing numbers of Fijians applying for asylum. They say that prior to the coup in 2006, barely anyone applied. But since then, hundreds have sought sanctuary in Australia.
People are coming over every month probably by the plane loads, or the majority of people on the aeroplane are coming over and they don't have any intentions of going back. And, it's a lot to do with the political situation and also the other aspects, which is the economic situation and the social disruption the policies of this present government has brought upon the people of Fiji.
Usaya Wangaterewa is a Fijian pro-democracy activist. He says many Fijians in Australia are vulnerable to immigration scams.
A lot of the people that come from Fiji go straight into the farms in the New South Wales or Northern Victoria rural land, or maybe up in Queensland. And so they'd be concentrated on places like Griffith, Young, Robinvale. So these people who are posing as experts or who are promising them this actually go down there and actually visit them house to house, or organises with some of their contact there that they're coming down there, and they organise a little pocket meeting for them. And then they go in and do their presentation and make their promises and then get money from them.
Lateline has been told there are at least 3 other Fijians operating bogus migration services and presenting themselves as pastors. Hundreds of people are believed to have lost money.
Fijians are very religious people. They're very strong Christians, and they look up to ministers of the cloth, or ministers of the church ministers, and as honest people, and as their guidance and advisors and counsellors, and they put a lot of trust in them. So when you come in as that, they will put a lot of trust in you.
Genuine Fijian religious ministers like John Tui are outraged by the imposters.
They are not credentially men of God. In another word, they are called by pastors by our community back in Fiji, but they do not carry a credential here. And they use that as a front to get the trust of our people. And they are sucked in to pay big dollars to them, to the tune of 10,000. Yes, that is true. And I'm very disappointed about it, because these are desperate, poor people who escape the political situation in Fiji, come here and looking for a better life. And they are being treated as such by these vultures, I could call them.
The Immigration Department is aware of the situation and is warning members of the Fijian community to use accredited lawyers and immigration agents.
We're certainly concerned by those allegations. We take them and treat them very seriously. We currently have a number of investigations on foot in a number of communities where these allegations have been made. And of course, there are penalties up to 20 years imprisonment as a result of people who are involved in either submitting fraudulent documentation or who are involved in attempting to impose on the Commonwealth under the Migration Act. If people have got allegations to make, we want to hear about them. We do treat them and take them seriously.
Jalame Nale says he'll pay back the Raulunis money, but as we go to air, the Raulunis say they're yet to hear from Mr Nale. Michael Edwards, Lateline.